Good evening, everyone. It's lesson 13, and it's the last lesson of this quarter. And the title is, I Will Make All Things New. The memory text for today is, Then he who sat on the throne said, Behold, I will make all things new. And he said to me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. Revelation 21, verse 5. Before we begin and get into this week's lesson, let's have our prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we know that you will make all things new. Even though there's a lot of things that are going to happen in Revelation that are still to come, we know that we will stay faithful and that we will continue to have trust in you, and you will carry us through this hard time. As we come to this time, we ask that we continue to help others come to you. In your name we pray. Amen. The destruction of end-time Babylon is bad news for those who collaborated with this apostate religious system. For God's people, however, it is good news. Babylon was responsible for inducing the secular political powers to persecute and harm them. The destruction of this great adversary means deliverance and salvation for God's faithful people. With the destruction of Babylon, the prayer of God's people in this sense of the fifth seal is ultimately answered. Their cry, How long, O Lord, represents the cry of God's oppressed and suffering people from Abel to the time when God will finally vindicate them. The book of Revelation assures God's people that evil, oppression, and suffering will come to an end. It is now time for Christ to usher in his everlasting kingdom. The remaining chapters of Revelation describe not just the destruction of end-time Babylon, but also the destruction of Satan and all of evil. We get glimpses too of the establishment of God's everlasting kingdom. Please study this week's lesson to prepare for Sabbath, March 30th. That concludes our lesson for today. Thank you guys for watching. Have an awesome rest of the evening, and we'll see you here to study again tomorrow.